We are good. Good for Jesus. We are good people.
For Jesus, we are good people.
Feel too much in Jesus. Allow me. Jesus, amen.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus.
This family is part of a growing influx of Hispanic immigrants who came to New Orleans after the 2005 Hurricane Katrina. They were seeking a better life and were attracted by job opportunities involved in rebuilding the state. According to census data, 33,000 Hispanics came to the area since the storm. This is an increase of about 57%.
Entré aquí en el año 2009. Mi familia vino en el año 2013.
Me quedé sorprendida. No me imaginaba que existiera un lugar tan bonito como acá, como New Orleans. Me daba fuerza de que yo decía que mi hijo iba a tener un futuro mejor que estando allá en nuestro país, porque aquí tenemos más posibilidad de estudiar.
But just like other immigrants in New Orleans, these parents feel the hardships from not being English proficient. And they believe their 11-year-old son, Samuel, is the one paying the price.
Yo he sabido por otros amigos de que les ayudan con el lenguaje, los tienen su maestro, les enseñan y todo. Yo sabía que sí, supuestamente él se iba a encargar de que él se tramitara el ESL para el niño. Pero pasó mucho tiempo y yo estuve hablando, ¿cuándo van a tener ESL? Llegaba, yo me sentía como ignorado porque estaba pasando el tiempo y no hacían nada.
Samuel is in 4th grade and enrolled at one of the over 80 independently operated charter schools in New Orleans. After Katrina, and with the fast growth of the immigrant population, the number of students with limited English skills has nearly tripled. Today, many schools are still struggling to keep up with these children and their parents' needs. Meanwhile, students like Samuel are getting lost in the school system.
Y vimos el primer reporte de notas. En el primer reporte de notas él bajó demasiado. En realidad en la escuela no tenía apoyo, o sea, él solo iba a la clase y más nada, él recibía igual que los demás, pero supuestamente que él estaba entendiendo las clases, pero...
And when Samuel didn't understand his classes, he couldn't count on his parents' support.
Me sentía mal porque a veces yo trataba, haz la tarea, pero ella me decía, papá, eso no lo puedo hacer. Y yo, sí, ni yo puedo tampoco. Entonces, muchas veces yo trataba por internet.
Samuel's parents claim that the school failed to provide English as second language classes, or ESL, and failed to translate documents concerning major school events, parent-teacher conferences, and homework in their native language. They believe that this has affected their son's performance at school. For organizations like Puentes, which supports Latino groups in New Orleans, this is the typical dilemma faced by many immigrant parents.
If his reading and listening and writing and understanding skills in English aren't at a certain level, then he's not going to perform, he or she's not going to perform well in his or her history classes that are needed for graduation. So we're seeing higher dropout rates.
In addition to affecting his grades, Samuel's lack of English skills also caused other problems at school. Problems that Samuel's parents believe that the school leaders could have prevented.
Él empezó a sufrir ahí en la escuela. Había un niño que le pegaba. Allí sufrió bullying. Me sentí triste porque me sentí como con las manos amarradas, como atada, porque, o sea, querer expresar en mi idioma lo que yo siento como mamá y quererle decir y no poderlo.
Bullying, is a national problem. And we are aware of the complaint regarding this family and have intervened.
Ms. Brown is the director of the New Beginnings Schools, the foundation that oversees Samuel's School and 3 other charter institutions in New Orleans. She says that one of the challenges for her group of schools is that she can't justify spending a large amount of her budget on a small number of students.
We have not had as large of a Hispanic population as we have now. Our population was mainly Vietnamese. So we are adapting to that change. The barriers come where we only get maybe 1 or 2 students in a school. And of course, it boils down to, are you able to add a staff person? Are you able to get an itinerant person who speaks that language?
But it is those few students who are getting lost in the system. To seek help, families like Samuel's are turning to organizations like VELA New Orleans.
Samuel is a limited English proficient. English is not his first language. It's going to take more. It's going to take extra support to educate Samuel. So they are allocated special funds to be able to educate them. What we're asking is what happened to those funds when you're not using, when you know that you're marking him as a limited English proficient child, receiving that funding for the federal government, but then you don't hire the staff personnel that you need.
Together with the Asian American Legal Defense and American Fund, VELA filed a federal complaint last year on behalf of Spanish and Vietnamese-speaking parents. The complaint pointed out that many schools are not making language accessible for students and their parents.
I certainly won't comment while that complaint is being reviewed. But one thing I will say is we've been working with community organizations like VELA for the last couple of years.
Although Samuel School was not named in the federal complaint, it is now adopting new services to welcome Hispanic students. In addition to their ESL program, they are starting a radio campaign in Spanish to help parents register their children.
We're going to do our best efforts to communicate, to translate what we need to translate. And many of my staff at the network office are involved in taking some communication courses so that we can at least speak and direct a parent how to seek help.
These are people that are still to this day rebuilding the city. The city is still in the process of being rebuilt. We are definitely not where we could be, but we definitely have improved a lot because of these day laborers and the work that they've contributed to the city of New Orleans. The Latino community brings a culture, brings that family environment. We want to make sure that we're doing the best that the city can do. We will do nothing but gain. There's so much gain to welcome new cultures to the city, and that we just want to make sure there isn't any barriers, especially in the education system.